Golf Cars Modified Division is set for a 100th lap affair tonight at Bowman Gray Stadium. A lot on the line, double points, $6,000 bonus on the line for Chris Fleming, who will choose and elect to start at the rear. Let's give you the starting lineup for tonight's 100 lapper.
All
All right, we are back here at Bowman Gray Stadium and set for the 100 lapper for the NASCAR Modifieds, the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division. Let's give you the starting lineup.
Starting the 19th position, you're going to find the number 14 of Corey Lovett.
Starting 18th tonight, the lovely young lady from Jonesville, North Carolina, the number 77 Phoenix car. The young lady that I'm talking about is Susan Harwell. And starting 17th tonight in the Greg Butcher Towing number 6 machine is Greg Butcher.
Starting that 16th position, you'll find the number 68 of Eddie Collins. And to his inside, none other in the 05 Bussy Beaver.
Greatest name in modern-day motorsports, Bussy Beavers. Starting 14th tonight, taking the Fans Challenge. He will have to advance 10 spots, but if he does so, he gets a bonus of $6,000 in the number 16 machine. You see the Surrey Chemicals Jerry Hunt Supercenter 16. From Mount Airy, North Carolina, it's Chris Fleming. Starting to his inside, red, white, and blue. You see that car right there. From Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the 4-time winner so far this season, it's Jonathan John Boy Brown.
Starting in the 6th row, it's all Myers' brother. On the outside, you'll find the number 4 of Jason Myers. And to his inside, none other than the one, the only, the actual number 1, Burt Myers.
The 85-time winner here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And starting 10th tonight in the number 61 machine you see on your screen, Best Driving Academy in Phoenix on board. That King, North Carolina driver is former baseball collegiate star Junior Snow. Starting to his inside, the 04 from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This driver is winless so far, but he is the picture of consistency. It's Brandon Ward.
Starting the 8th place position, you'll find the number 75 of Lee Jeffries. And to his inside, you'll find the number 99 of William Smith.
Oh, crab right there. The starting 6 tonight in the number 5 from Pofftown, North Carolina, and the Greg Butcher Towing machine, it's Randy Butner. Starting to his inside, the Hillbilly Racing number 79 from Arcadia, North Carolina. He has some fresh T-shirts in that pit area. I just got one, by the way. It's Zach Brewer.
Starting the 4th place position, we talked about him earlier. He's hoping to have a good finish tonight. That number 83 of Tim Brown. And to his inside, you'll find from Kernersville, North Carolina, the number 44 of Daniel Beeson.
And now the front row starters for your Real Rock 105.7 100 lapper for the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division. On the front row, on the outside, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the Black Sand Company, number 69, it's Superman John Holloman IV. And on the pole tonight, his young son just off of surgery and here tonight to watch his daddy start from the pole. The Flying Floridian from Wesley Chapel, Florida, it's Jeremy Gerstner.
Jeremy Gerstner. What he would do for a win here at the Madhouse.
Oh, he's so hungry for it. Every week we talk about it. I just got a Pepsi from his trailer earlier today, and we were talking about JT, his young son, just getting off that surgery. But every week he's like, I want to win this so bad. He had an opportunity earlier this year, but he chose not to use the bumper to do it. Mm-hmm. And I respected that so much because the code of Bowman Gray is different. You know, the bumper is kind of accepted here in some circles. Well, not for that driver. He said he didn't want to do it that way. He didn't want to do it that way in front of his young son as well. And hopefully tonight he doesn't have to use that bumper to get the win because he's starting on the pole.
Jeremy Gerstner is always a driver that's very thoughtful, very considerate.
Yes.
He races people the way that he wants to be raced. But this right here, the pill draw, went his way tonight. The 55 out on front. This right here is a dream come true
Well, the
for
pill
this
draw,
Floridian.
it is. The pill draw you mentioned, actually, that's a great point to bring up because the fans at home are like, what do you mean by the pill draw? I thought they qualified. Well, Jason Myers got the pole tonight, but it's a random redraw. So you get the pole award, you get the money, you get the bonus, but the field is chosen by a pill draw. So
P.S. You still got to pull a pill.
Yeah, you still have to pull that pill, and the 55 was the lucky one tonight. He starts on the front row. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God. And 600 horsepower, the Modifieds. They're green at Bowman Gray.
Jeremy Gerstner, he's going to hold his own, but he's going to go out to the outside.
Gerstner drove it to the hot dog stand in turn number 1, and he hung on to it barely. But then the 69 has dropped back 5 spots.
Yeah, something I noticed just off on the right-hand screen, the 83, he has dropped back like an anchor, but when he went into the corner, it sparked up, so problems potentially for that 83 driver of Tim Brown.
Hopefully it's just low air pressures and that dreaded bump that goes into turn 1. We hope, but here comes Beeson on the bottom. Beeson's fresh off 2 of his best runs of the season the last time we were here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And tonight, his number 44, Dayglow Orange and Blue Machine, as you see on the screen, sits second. Zach Brewer to his backside, already a winner so far in 2022.
Wasting no time in the early stages here. We have 100 laps to go. This isn't the usual 25 that you see throughout the season, and double points on the line. Every lap matters in every position here at Bowman Gray does. Jeremy Gerstner continues to lead. You're looking on the screen at that 6th place position, but we're back up front. Gerstner followed again by the 44 of Beeson and 79 of Zach Brewer in the top 3.
Well, we just saw a great run by Connor Branch in that sportsman division to finish second. Will it be kind of an underdog story again tonight for Daniel Beeson after his really impressive run last week in that number 44 car? Beeson, he finished 8th and 6th last time the Modifieds were out, his best finishes of 2022.
Yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds. Everyone getting a little bit settled in after having a weekend off. They are back and ready to attack this track. But how will it iron out? This 79 continuing to stalk behind the 44 of Beeson. Looks pretty happy with where he is so far.
Sitting in 4th right now is the man who's been so quiet, and that is the Q104.1 Black Machine sitting in 4th. Well, he may be 4th, but he's first in points, and that is Brandon Ward, who finished 4th and 2nd the last time we were here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and he has put together a very masterful season that has not included a single checkered flag, but you know what? Hey, he could still win a championship without winning a race.
And sitting right behind him, you'll find that number 1 of Burt Myers, who just broke his drought of the 2022 season last week. Talk about a rainfall. It happened for that number 1 last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, actually.
2 weekends ago,
last
yeah,
race.
that's right. The last time we were here, it was 2 weeks ago. That seems kind of rather odd, but Burt Myers getting that 85th win, snapping that nearly 1-year drought to do so. And, of course, now that leaves Tim Brown as the lone guy with the giant streak of winless, here at Bowman Gray Stadium. So it's going to be very interesting right now. Burt Myers has that monkey off his back. But right now, speaking of being on somebody's back, the 79 of Zach Brewer has turned the wick up on your second place runner right now, Daniel Beeson.
It's time to get ghosty. He's going to ghost behind that 44 and wait for him to make a mistake. Maybe give him the chrome bumper and see what he can do.
Yeah, that good old chrome horn right there. We love our modified racing. Big tires, big fenders, Nerf bars, and a lot of power, a lot of grip. Q104 car just creeping into the picture there, catching that battle for second place. And right behind him is Burt Myers in that famed Myers Brothers number 1, the Walnut Cove driver, is creeping into the picture. And not just creeping, he puts a bumper to the backside of Brandon Ward. Remember, those 2 drivers have a great rivalry between them stemming from last year's championship incident. To outline that for you, that Q104.1 car got into Burt Myers. Well, first Burt got into him in green flag racing, and then under caution, that 104 car of Brandon Ward ended Burt Myers' night pretty much, damaging his car under caution. thus possibly costing him the Bowman Gray Stadium Track Championship that went to his rival, Tim Brown.
Those that may know Brandon Ward may know him from a Fender life where he moved away from full-body cars back in 2010. Clearly, he's doing pretty well now in the modifieds.
He sure is. It's tough because you don't see many Fendered guys come into modified world and really have success. And you've seen it whether it's on other tours, the Smart Tour. You've seen it in Southern Modified Tour action when NASCAR had that series. And then here, NASCAR Roots action with the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series at Bowman Gray Stadium. This has been a place where he's really blossomed, Brandon Ward, and it's incredible to see him have success in a modified.
Yeah, it really is. He has immersed himself into the short track racing world, and it has paid off. We're going to see a little bit of lap traffic come about here as we're going to make our way around. It looks like the
Crab
99.
Smith. Yep, Crab Smith there to the bottom. Good eye right there. Lap traffic becoming an issue because when these cars go to the outside, Jacqueline, man, there is just no grip out there.
Things get a little loosey-goosey on the outside lane here, especially in the modified division. Not where you want to be, even in particular.
Well, you know, the other thing to think about, too, is not only is there not a lot of rubber up there, but let's just talk about this real quick. Because if you're driving on the inside of the track and nobody's on that outside, where do the marbles go from these big, giant modified tires when they come off? They don't go to the third groove. They don't go to the wall. Some of them are sitting in that second groove since nobody's sweeping them off there. So as we go on in this race, that makes that outside groove even more treacherous.
Right, and it's not something that you want in any type of racing when it comes to the asphalt. We're looking at here again at the second, third place. We are currently 27 laps in the books, 100-lap feature event. Your leader, Jeremy Gersner, he's gone. He's
gone.
out of space.
He's got about I'd say an eighth of a mile, 16th of a mile lead on this second place battle that you're looking at right there. Oh, Beeson getting a little sideways there, getting jacked up, and Zach Brewer tried not to get into the 44 too heavily, but that did stack up that battle right now. I think you're going to see the 79 start to apply a little bit more pressure as he sees the 44 waning, and he gets into the backside of him. Beeson almost spins around. Zach Brewer around on the outside. Here comes Brandon Ward to the top side. Burt Myers is going to try his hand on the outside of his former race car. Yes, that's right. The 44 is a former Burt Myers chassis. Here comes the number 1, and he will advance to 4th position. Beeson slots back in P5.
Things are heating up here. As you can see, 30 laps in the books. You'll see them using that chrome bumper that we talked about earlier, the 79. Able to inch away of Zach Brewer. He's happy with where he's sitting in that second place position. And we see a battle here for 5th place, the 44 on the inside, going to get passed by Holloman.
John Holloman, Superman, is coming to the front. Here comes Tobaccoville's Tim Brown in that orange machine, but yellow flag is out. The first caution flag has flown for the Modified 100 at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Potentially could be debris here. Not sure what the caution flag flew, but this is going to give drivers a chance to sit back, take a breath, and analyze exactly how they feel about their car in this time. We got truck crews. They're going to go out to turn 4 and look around and see what they can find, dust off the track surface. 33 laps in the books. Jeremy Gersner continuing to lead over the 79 of Zach Brewer and the Q104.1 in 3rd place here, followed by Burt Myers and Holloman in 5th.
And John Holloman right there. He's starting to heat up here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Flexed that Superman a few weeks ago, the second to last time we were here, I guess it would be. It's confusing when we haven't had a week off. But John Holloman, you see that 69 right there, and one of the likable young drivers in this division. Burt Myers, the monkey, is off his back. You see that number 1 as we circulate this quarter-mile oval, flat quarter-mile oval around a football field here in Winston-Salem. The choose cone is out, so let's see who chooses. Your leader, of course, to the bottom. Zach Brewer to the bottom. Brandon Ward chances the outside groove. So does Burt Myers in a very surprising move. John Holloman sticks to the inside. Tim Brown goes to the outside. A lot of takers here to the outside, surprisingly, in this top 5. Very interesting.
Time to mix it up. 35 laps in the books. What else are you going to do if you're way back there? You can't just sit in a single file all night.
But those guys weren't way back there. That's unusual, I think, to see a guy like Burt Myers go from only gain 1 spot to take the top side. Well, let's see if it works for him. 35 laps in the book. The pedal is down, and Brandon Ward from the outside. He takes the lead. What a power move by Brandon Ward.
Things are getting dicey in the back. You'll see Burt Myers slams on the brakes. Is going to cause a pileup of braking through that last corner.
Yes, the battle is on behind there. They're a little side by side for 6th position. Right now for 7th position back there, you see Junior Snow, and to his outside, Jonathan Brown, just off of your screen right there. That is the battle on the track, single file, mostly up front. You see it right there, Jonathan Brown on the outside of Junior Snow. There we go. Brown now files in behind the 61 of Junior Snow, the black and pink machine. The red, white, and blue car of Jonathan John Boy Brown files in behind them. Now to your leaders, Brandon Ward, but guess what? The Wesley Chapel, Florida driver of Jeremy Gerstner is probably not too happy with himself with that restart performance. He could have definitely restarted better, and you know what? He wants that lead back, and he's charging hard to the backside of Brandon Ward.
Let's see how he can maneuver Brandon Ward here to retake his lead, but he keeps hitting the turtles. It seems to be upsetting his car here, so we'll see how he goes into this turn.
Now, those drivers are definitely using as much of the racetrack as you can. You see them float that left front tire over those turtles and almost into the drainage ditches of this track, trying to get traction, trying to get drive off of the corner, and trying to get underneath the 104 of Brandon Ward.
Brandon Ward's going to settle into his routine here, followed by Jeremy Gerstner doing all he can right behind him in second. Behind him is Zach Brewer in 3rd place, followed by Burt Myers and the 69 of John Holloman.
A lot of rain here earlier today, washing some of the rubber off, but it looks like it's still there. Definitely not on the outside groove, but maybe a little less than we're accustomed to on the bottom side right there. So those drivers are definitely hunting for a little extra grip, maybe floating that left side tire over that concrete, hoping that maybe they could get a little bit of drive using a little bit more pavement. Battle is on right there. Burt Myers moves into 3rd position around Zach Brewer.
Zach Brewer a little bit off the pace there. John Holloman, the 4th, is going to be able to close the gap a little bit as he's going to go to the back bumper of that 79, but it makes him loose whenever he gets contact.
We are not too far away from halfway in this race, and Burt Myers is up to 3rd, folks. Last week, he got that victory. Well, this week, he's in 3rd, folks. Now back to the lead.
Burt Myers, 2nd most winningest champion here behind Tim Brown. He knows this track oh too well. Bowman Gray, has he settled into a hot streak? We will see.
It's very interesting, all you that follow the fans' choice. Only one driver in the top 4 decided to start in the rear of the field, and if he makes it up to the 4th position, he could win a bonus of $6,000, and that's the number 16 of Chris Fleming. And right now, he's in 9th position, all the way up from the rear of the field for Chris Fleming right now. That is your update for the $6,000 bonus.
Halfway here.
Going around the lap car of Crab Smith, William Crab Smith, a very lovable veteran driver in this pit area. Oh, trouble for Zach Brewer. Zach Brewer has spun in the north turn. Oh, the hard luck continues. The last time we were here, his battery literally flew out of the machine, and tonight he's around in the north turn.
He was sitting in a good position in 4th place there.
Oh, some damage to the right front of Lee Jeffries' machine. The hard luck continues for Jeffries. It looks like maybe some contact with Jason Myers, so we will see. We'll keep our eye on this number 75 car of Lee Jeffries. Trouble for Jeffries. The heartbreak season continues for this driver who has several wins here. And I'll tell you what, this is unlike most seasons we've ever seen from Lee Jeffries here. We've never seen him struggle this badly.
He's going to throw his window net down.
His night is done for sure. You can see the tie rod is snapped on the right front of that 75 Phoenix packaging machine. Carolina Drilling also aboard as the veteran driver climbs out. His father, the great Robert Jeffries, who passed away just a few years ago, and he is carrying on that legacy in that beautiful paint scheme as well. He's standing at the back of his car. See what happens. It looks like he's going to have something to say to somebody maybe, or maybe not.
You saw him shake his head there.
Yeah, had Tim Brown? That was Tim Brown going by him, so I don't know. I don't think those drivers were close to each other. So now he's going to take the ride on the back of the tow truck. Nice tow truck here tonight, this red tow truck. I do like the Blue Thunder tow truck. I like some of the old school tow trucks here, but this red one is, it's a nice tow truck. That's nice. Nicey nice.
For those that are counting, for 54 laps in the books here, 100 to go. Well, 100 is the goal here.
You don't have like viewpoints on tow trucks, huh? I still have that little 5-year-old boy in me that's
We're
just
back
like,
to the tow truck.
yeah, like I just think tow trucks are cool.
I think tow trucks are cool.
Yeah, good.
I like
here,
wreckers,
high five,
flatbacks, stuff like that, right?
Look at that, Daniel Davis Towing. We get a little
24
advertising plug in.
hours.
24 hours. Hey, if you
7
got some
days,
trouble,
huh?
give them a call here in the Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You see the police officers there ensuring that we have a safe pit area. It gets a little heated back there every once in a while. And
Bowman Gray heated? No way.
Slightly.
No
just
way.
slightly. But the great law enforcement here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina keeps some things in line. We've seen them keep it in line this year.
Speaking of keeping things in line, it was very interesting to see the choose cone this last time we talked about. What do you suspect when we come back to the choose cone? Jeremy Gerstner, do you think he's going to keep that inside lane, or do you think he's going to jump out to the outside?
I think it's early enough where if I were Gerstner, if I was his spotter, I would suggest that he stayed on the bottom. Because Brendan Ward is going to have a good restart on that bottom. And I think if he can clog that hole and not let Burt Myers in, he can maintain that second run. I think it's still early enough in the race where he should do that.
I agree. I think that's the smart move here. You got Burt Myers right behind you, John Holloman, and then you have Tim Brown, who has recovered slightly from the beginning of this race, him falling back to 83.
Yeah.
So maybe things have started to turn a little bit for him.
5th place, and we're halfway into this race, just beyond halfway with 56 laps on the board. So Tim Brown could be a player here. Remember, the great thing about these 100 lappers is the double file restart, and the cone has just been put out. The cone of choice has been put out by Jeff Bunton, J.B. Cole, and here comes the leaders to choose. You know that Brennan Ward's going to choose the inside, and to the inside, Burt Myers from 3rd place to the outside, Holloman to the inside, and now 5th place to 3rd, Tim Brown from Tobaccoville.
So we got teammates side by side in row 2. Burt Myers to that outside lane.
Oh, John Boy creeping up into 6th. That was a really solid choice by him in the number 22 car. But the rivals will start side by side in the 100-lapper restart, lap 57. This could be exciting. Brandon Ward slowly creeps and now slams down on the throttle. What a start for Ward. Burt Myers falls in line. Oh, big wreck. Rear of the field right there. Your number 16 car of Chris Fleming, once your point leader and the guy that was eligible for the $6,000 bonus. It looks like it ain't going to happen.
Looks like the 44 Daniel Beeson also involved in that, as well as the 99.
Chris Fleming sat 3rd into points as he headed into tonight. Has had a little bit of bad luck recently the last few weeks with some things happening on track. He's had a spin on the front stretch, a wreck on the front stretch, and tonight it happens again. He said tonight he's not running for points. Here it is. Let's get a look at the replay. It's hard to see really what happened there.
Wow.
See if we could look at that replay one more time. Maybe we could get them to dial that back up. It was really tough to see. Maybe get a slow-mo or say, here comes the replay. The guys in the truck rock. Let's look at this. He gets a little loose coming off there. And, it looks like maybe the wheel of Junior Snow might have made contact with the 16, causing him to spin. I don't know. That was a tough one to call there of why Chris Fleming spun. Now you see him in the backside of the Jerry Hunt Super Centers Surrey Chemicals number 16. That's owned by William Crabbe Smith, the Fleming family racing team. And Zach Brewer is now stopped on the backstretch. The guy that was just fifth position, Zach Brewer, who had just spun earlier, and man, his bad luck continues too. There it is right there. The Arcadia, North Carolina driver is out of his Hillbilly Racing entry. They're getting the tower hooked up.
Something must have broke on Zach Brewer's 79 machine.
They've got some gremlins going on with that thing, and it just seems like it's one of those things where little silly things have been happening with that number 79.
We're at a red flag here with 60 laps.
Chris Fleming, look at him. He's taking that dejected walk as his car gets towed off down the front stretch. That's just not the walk. You never want to be where Zach Brewer is looking at his car getting towed to, and you never want to be on that lonely walk back to the field house and back to that pit area behind the field house. The veteran driver, Chris Fleming, a man of great faith. And actually, you know what? This is something I don't mind saying this, but Chris even texted me this week and said, hey, man, I love you. I'm praying for you. He's just a good dude. One of those guys that will reach out of the blue just to see how you're doing. And that's Chris Fleming, a very fiery competitor. So I think he's at times misunderstood by many people because he's a man of great faith, but around the race car he could get very intense and fiery, but that's not an indictment on who he is as a person. That's him as a competitor. As a human being, Chris Fleming, one of the nicer guys in this Bowman Gray Stadium pit area.
I think what you just said there really does make an impact, and something that I agree with wholeheartedly. But people that are athletes, their competitive nature and who they are isn't a reflection of who they are particularly as a person. And you made a great point this past week actually on social media about just asking people for kindness and asking them to think before they write something mean on social media or tweet. So it's something when you're watching a race or football game or things like that, like what you see is them as a competitor. So I think it's a great point that you made right there. We'll see right here on Brewer's car, the right side nerve bar completely gone after the contact there with Chris Fleming, which we saw in that replay, it fling off into the wall. I thought for a minute it was going to go up into the grandstands.
No. I mean, it's a really deceptive view here, but those grandstands are elevated there, so very, very safe environment. So.
Track maintenance has got everything cleaned up from the contact here in turns 1 and 2, and cars are refired. We're going to go green again. We're going to see how this. I can't wait.
I mean, I love the fact that we could have for the remainder of this race, if it stays like this, we could have two of the Titans starting side by side, two of the biggest rivals in modified racing in the South right now, starting side by side for the remainder of this race. And if that doesn't get you excited, whether you're a fan sitting here in the grandstands or watching home on Flow Racing, I don't know what will. Kind of a slim crowd for Bowman Gray Stadium tonight, but we had so much weather in the area. It's just amazing that we even got this race underway. A lot of racetracks canceled, and Bowman Gray stuck it out. We have the choose cone ready to go here. Let's see who decides what. The leader will choose the bottom. Who will choose? Oh, Burt Myers makes no mistake in hopping to the outside, and then it's a Jerry Hunt Super Center second row as Tim Brown chooses to go behind Burt Myers. JB Cole about to pick up the cone and go back to the flag stand. The lights are off on the modern Chevrolet Blazer Pace vehicle as these modified 600 horsepower ground pounders get set here to take the green flag on lap 63 of this 100 lap affair. Brandon Ward on the bottom. He fired really good off this turn. He fires again. Burt Myers fires at the same time. A little better start for Burt, but he gets to the bottom, tucks in line. Now the battle's on for second. Jeremy Gerstner on the bottom. Tim Brown battling on the top, and Tim Brown from the outside takes third.
Jeremy Gerstner, he got a little bit of a push from the backside, but he was able to help out his teammate Tim Brown get into that third place position. Now it's just going to be single file as Burt Myers on the back of Ward.
This could get a little spicy, folks. These two drivers at the front of the field don't have a lot of, well, there's no love lost between them. Let's just say that after the incident here last year. Brandon Ward sends it in really deep there. Burt Myers gives him a shot in turn 1 and 2.
We're playing bumper cars. He's going to hit one bumper, end up on the other. As Burt Myers, he's pushing the leader, Brandon Ward, for
he's
position.
Pushing it deeper now. He's got him. Coming off of turn number 2 to the bottom. Walnut Cove, North Carolina takes the lead around Brandon Ward. Burt Myers to the lead. Bumper tag, and he goes around him.
He wasn't so nice about it. Pushed him up to the wall just a little bit, but Brandon Ward's going to recollect himself and get back into that second place position as the driver Tim Brown is going to now push him from behind.
I think you made a good point there. He's gonna kind of collect himself there because Brandon Ward is a veteran race car driver, and if he studies what he did there, he'll know exactly what he did there. He let Burt Myers kind of push him a little deeper into the turn than he'd like. Didn't play good defense right there, did Brandon Ward. He drove the car a little too deep into the turn, and he gave up that bottom spot, and that's not what you want to do. A little pressure from the backside of Burt Myers really worked to get him that lead spot. But right now, Brandon Ward has a mirror full of the Tobaccoville Titan right there, the Rocket Tim Brown.
And Tim Brown, we talked about earlier, he is hungry. He wants that win. It's been 19 races, and caution flag is going to fly.
We've got another caution flag on the track, which will set up another double file choose cone restart. Debris on the track, I believe, coming off of turn number 2 as the track crew right now goes out to the outside of that track. You see Eddie there with the flag. Oh, Eddie, man, with the ponytail. He's our buddy.
72 laps down, and we have Burt Myers leading this race. If you would have asked me to put money on who would win this, I don't know if I would have picked Burt.
Not from maybe where he was starting, but you know, now that he's got that confidence. So these 100 lappers in the double file choose cone restart. That's what I'm just going to say it right now. We have a lot of twin 25s, and I always toot this horn, and poor Greg Garrison probably wants to kill me, but I wish the double file choose cone restart would be for every race. I love the twin 25s that give the back markers with the invert a real good chance at the front of the field. But I crave the side-by-side nature of that double file restart to give some of those guys in the back a little bit more of a chance. And we're seeing the entertainment value of it tonight in this in these restarts, and they're not a mess. These drivers are being very respectful to each other on each restart. And I'll tell you what, the double file just makes people excited here. Brennan Ward chooses the bottom. Oh, here comes Tim Brown to the top.
Here we go. Brown versus Burt.
Oh, boy. The Myers and Brown rivalry. You've seen it on YouTube. Well, tonight, will you see it on Flow Racing? 3 rivals up at the front of the field, and another driver who's red hot on the outside of the second row in Jonathan Brown. Coming to lap 74 as we take the green flag here slowly around turn number 4. Burt Myers fires first. Green flag is out.
Oh, he's not going to let him have it that easy, folks. He's going to hold on the outside, but slip down right behind him and get right in line behind the back of that number 1.
A lot of times you see that outside guy try to get to the bottom going into turn number 1. Tim Brown kind of tested the waters on the outside to see what that 83 would feel like. And obviously you could see him in kind of managing that throttle, that there wasn't a lot of grip out there, and then he was able to luckily file in behind Burt Myers.
The time to go is now. Tim Brown knows it, and he's not going to let Burt Myers run away with it.
There's a lot on the line for sure. You've got 85-time winner Burt Myers in the lead. He broke his winless drought the last time we were here. He's in the lead right now. The guy behind him has, well, the headline drought right now. 19 races dating back to July of last year. The number 83 hasn't been to victory lane. He's as close as he's been in a long time. And guess who's in front of him? A guy that, well, quite frankly, a few times he's given the front bumper to. So this could make for a very interesting last 20 laps of this race.
Yeah, you talk about champion versus champion. You got two of the best right there in this modified division here at Bowman Gray. They know this track better than anyone else. What will they do in these final 20 laps?
21 championships between the two drivers in first and second place right now. The Titans of Bowman Gray Stadium have elevated to the front of the field, and, well, the yellow flag is out with that.
The dreaded yellow flag
Wah,
will
wah,
fly.
wah. The fans that are here are pretty passionate, and I've been kind of keeping an eye on them on the bottom rows, leaning over, and they're pretty excited, I get the feeling, that Tim Brown and Burt Myers are at the front of this field.
You talked about two of the best here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and several of the fans that come out here, they are dedicated. They come here every single season. Some have been coming here for 10, 20, 30 years to Bowman Gray. They know this place in and out, so you'll see them truly passionate about their favorite drivers.
Debris in turn number 3, we are told. Jonathan Beeson is coming around to go to pit road. Actually, I think he might be getting a lucky dog. There's the debris. You see it right there on our flow cameras. Great job by our cameraman right there to pick that up. And that official to pick it up, actually, literally.
If you're tuned in, watching us here on the Bowman Gray Live, tweet us, hashtag Madhouse. Tweet your seat. Let us know if you're tuned in watching. But here we go. Green flag this time by.
Here we go. Burt Myers to the bottom. Tobaccoville, North Carolina's Tim Brown to the outside. Oh, a kind of a jump there by Burt Myers. The green flag is out, though. And Brandon Ward fills the hole and retakes second position.
Not what Tim Brown wanted to see in the
yellow
caution
is out.
flag.
Yes, I don't think they liked
Oof,
it.
No. I thought the start looked like he may have jumped.
Yeah, you're right.
You
Absolutely.
called it right as soon as it happened there. Burt Myers getting a little bit antsy.
There's a lot of pressure on here because he wants to keep that 83 from breaking his streak. And he wants to win 2 in a row. This is a big race. This is the 100-lapper. Here, these 100-lappers, well, they mean something. Every race Burt Myers has at the stadium means something. This family is deeply rooted in the history of this racetrack. The third-generation driver now brings it around. He kind of gets in the throttle a little early. Yellow flag comes back again. He's going to get a little warning, most likely, from Chief Starter, Randy Smith.
Oh, a little bit of mind games happening.
Watch
that
here on
third
the
and fourth
outside. The
place.
flag man on the outside is giving him a warning, entering turn 3, to slow the pace down and not fire so early. Here we go. Oh, right there, the 83 purposely didn't get to the throttle very early there, but if it stays green, that might have hurt his chances right now. They're talking about on the starter stand, but that is a clean and green restart right there. Burt Myers fired where he was supposed to, maybe a tick early. I think the 83 was trying to play a little cat and mouse game. He regains that second spot, though, from Brandon Ward.
Not without a little bit of work. It took him a full lap to get around on that outside lane, but he'll settle into second place.
There's Randy Buntner right there and Junior Snow going at it there a little further back. And then there's the 16 of Chris Fleming recovering nicely after his spin back in the field.
9 laps to go this time by. 9 to go. Burt
All right,
Myers.
folks, it's heating up. 9 laps to go. If you're by your sets, you're like, okay, this has been an okay modified race, but hold on. There's 8 laps to go, and 2 of the kings of Bowman Gray Stadium Racing are at the front. One wants to keep the other behind him, and the guy in second place is as hungry of a race car driver as you may ever see. He wants to get a victory. It's been 19 times, and I'll tell you what, he's not afraid to use the chrome horn to do it. Burt Myers stretching out that lead right there. A little bit of power put down. The number 1 is getting some incredible drive off the corner here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and this is not what the 83 wants to see.
What can Tim Brown do here in the closing laps? We have 5 to go here, 5 to go. He's going to use all the real estate he can on the apron of this racetrack.
You know Burt Myers right now is thinking this. I've got 5 laps left. I'm putting down 5 qualifying style approaches to the laps. Unless the 83 gets to his back bumper, he doesn't need to play defense right now. He just needs to keep his head on straight and look forward and try to hit his marks to the best of his ability.
3 laps to go this time by. Burt Myers continuing to lead over Tim Brown as the 83 is going to do all he can.
All right there, Tim Brown swallows up a little bit there through 3 and 4. 2 laps to go in the modified 100. Burt Myers in the lead.
We're going to see the white flag this time by.
Only 4 more turns for Tim Brown to try to snap his 19-race winless drought, but the car in front of him will not let him do it. 2 wins in a row. Walnut Cove, North Carolina, win number 86 for Burt Myers. These guys have so many wins, it's tough. Oh, Tim Brown cannot be happy. He was so close to snapping that streak, but 2 wins in a row for Burt Myers. Hey, folks, Burt Myers is back, by the way. Did you know that?
He's back.
He's back. People were wondering when the slump would end for this driver, and now he's proving last week's win wasn't too much of a fluke, because he battled his way from 11th position to come up and earn this win here at Bowman Gray. You see that sister safe number 1 with the famed printed Bowman Gray Stadium checkered flag, taking his victory lap around this historic quarter-mile oval.
A mix of a good car and good strategy to get him from 11 to first. He's going to wave that checkered flag up in the air towards his crew members out there on turn 4, waving to him, congratulating. They're going to run to victory lane and celebrate with Burt Myers' second win of the 2022 season.
He's throwing about everything they could at this car all season long. Of course, starting out with the bump stop, starting out with that left front tied down. Of course, these bumps cause these drivers to go to more conventional setups, and it's been a struggle for Burt Myers this year. But, hey, 2 wins in a row. Let's send it down to victory lane for Burt Myers' climb out.
Win of the season and the 86th modified win of his illustrious career. Getting unstrapped, taking his helmet off. I heard him earlier on an early interview this week that said had he been fortunate enough to qualify in the top 4, he would have taken the fans challenge. Didn't work out that way. I'm sure he's not bothered by it. Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Burt Myers. Burt, your second win of the season, the 86th of your modified career, and you had that number 83 who was wanting his first win of the season right behind you.
No, thank you. You know what? I told him we were back. It really stinks that we got that far behind in points, but as you can see, we're here to chase trophies, Our qualifying note says, please count us out. So I hope they did.
It is, Bert, the tale of two double points nights. A few weeks ago, you had double points. Didn't fare too well with that. This, hopefully, makes you feel a lot better. And unfortunately, your brother had some trouble tonight, and so did Chris Fleming. So you made up a little in the points battle this evening.
Yeah, we got behind. It's an unusual spot for us, and I don't know how you want to look at that. But it's fun now. You know, when you're chasing them points, sometimes it becomes strenuous, can wear on you. We've had smiles on our faces all day. When he drew 11th, we didn't care. We knew we had a race car that could do it. If we could get where we needed to be, the start of the race was favorable to us. Man, we got the lead, and that was it. But I want to thank these guys. They don't quit. They don't give up. When everybody else gave up, these guys didn't. I want to thank CitraSafe, Backyard Leisure, Cleanup Supply, Universal Technical Institute, NASCAR Institute, Haviland Express, Klotz Racing Fuel, Foxfire Towing, Greens Management, Mark Joyce, Buzzy, R.E. How about it? Woo!
Let him hear it as he makes his way over to the Carolina Wood Floors winner's circle. Burt Myers picks up his second win of the season, the 86th of his modified career. Let him hear it. Whether you like Burt Myers or whether you don't like Burt Myers, let him hear it.
What a night for Burt Myers. And Burt climbs onto the Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. A two-time winner this year, win number 86. Congratulations to that entire Myers family racing bunch. And oh boy, the plot will continue. The big plot of the season so far, the winless drought of Tim Brown. So, hey, folks, we got some racing for you left. We don't just have a stadium stock race. We also have the second twin for the sportsman division, which if you saw the first one, it got a little funky. It got a little heated. There was battles throughout. So stay tuned on Flow Racing. You don't know what you're going to see with the sportsman cars coming up next.
From the chair city of Council, number 38, Mitch Gales. Starting 16th from Winston-Salem, the winner of the first 20-lapper event for this series here this evening, number 31, Chase Robertson. Starting 15th from Louisville, number 7, Connor Branch. Starting 14th from Walker Down, number 07, Riley Neal. Starting 13th from Winston-Salem, number 08.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is a city with a rich history of reinventing itself. Here you can wine and dine back in time, or raise a glass to the future. Witness history in the making, or savor the present moment. That's why you'll love visiting Winston-Salem. Our past is present, our future is bright, and our city is yours to explore. Look forward. Travel back to Winston-Salem.
Here we go. We are back on Bowman Gray Stadium soil here on Flow Racing with the Sportsman race, and Burt Myers just won the modified race. Folks, you see that number 1 going off into the pit area. The 218th career win for the famed Myers family at Bowman Gray Stadium, which now ties them for the all-time family win list with the Clifton family. Unbelievable right there. A great stat by our statistician king here, the man Justin Mincy, my good friend up here in the Flow Racing booth that comes up here and helps us out so much each and every week. But career win 218 for the Myers family tree. Unbelievable stat to show you the history of this place and that family. Here we go for Sportsman race number 2. Let's give you the starting lineup. Starting last on the field from Lexington, North Carolina, in the 02, it's Terry Thompson. Starting 18th, making now his second career Sportsman start, the number 51 from King, North Carolina, it's Austin Taylor. Starting 17th to 38, from Thomasville, it's Mitch Gales.
Starting the 16th position from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, you'll find the 31 of Chase Robertson. And to his inside from Louisville, North Carolina, he just finished second in the last feature, the number 7 of Connor Branch.
You kind of see that invert there, the winner getting 16th. So starting 14th tonight, who finished third in the race, the first race, the 07 Riley Neal, and starting 13th, Dylan Ward in the 08.
Starting the 12th position from Yadkinville, North Carolina, the 19 of Michael Adams. And to the inside, you'll find the 81 of Zach Clifton.
I'll give you the rest of the starting lineup pretty quickly. Starting 10th, Sterling Plemons. 9th, Kirk Sheets. 8th, Tiger Tommy Neal. 7th, the very popular Amber Lynn. 6th, Kyle Southern in the 92. The number 12, Justin Taylor, starts 5th. Zach Orr, 4th. Braden Mills' number 54 starts 3rd. Your front row, Wesley Thompson. And leading you to green was supposed to be Chase Lewis, but now Braden Mills will lead you from the point. Green flag is out, and Mills sideways to the throttle as the Sportsman's second race is underway. Wesley Thompson from the outside gets the lead. Now the battle is on for second. Orr on the outside. Braden Mills on the inside. Orr takes the spot from the outside.
Zach Orr gets a little bit sideways there, but he's going to settle into that second place position as Braden Mills now in 4th, followed by 12 of Justin Taylor.
Here comes Justin Taylor. Oh, trouble in turn number 2. Sterling Plemons, Kirk Sheets, and last week's winner, Michael Adams, involved. See some damage to the right side of the number 6 car as the sheet metal's kind of peeling off the door there away from the hood. You see the hood is buckled up like he made contact with somebody, and then some damage on the left side. Not very good for Kurt Sheets. Kurt Sheets runs into the number 6 under caution and wrecks him. Here we're looking at the replay right now of what happened. Well, that's why those drivers aren't happy. They got into each other. But, man, under caution, just as we went to the replay, retaliation between the 6 and the 03.
Two drivers clearly unhappy. You're going to see the 03 come back around here.
Let's follow this 03 because he's probably not too happy. Those two drivers, you saw that great replay on Flow Racing, them getting together. But right as we went to replay, the 6 refired his machine and basically rammed into the 03 of Sterling Plemons under caution, trying to wreck him. Oh, boy, things are getting heated. I told you not to tune away from Flow Racing, that things could get a little saucy.
Yeah, the number 6 of Kirk Sheets looks like he's going to go off the track and retire for the evening.
I think they might be sending him back there after that. I mean, you never know here. I don't know. Did it look like it? It looked like they might have been doing that. He did a little bit of damage, but not that much. So I think the officials were like, all right, take her off the track, buddy. Only 2 laps into this 20-lap affair, and we're already having some bad blood under caution.
We're going to get the 1 to go this time by. Flagman's going to show 1 lap till green. 22 of Wesley Thompson can continue to lead over the 55 of Zach Orr, followed by the 54 of Braden Mills.
Well, Kurt Sheets is going to be allowed to rejoin the field, so my correction, I definitely don't want to assume that he was told to get off the track by officials. That wouldn't be fair to Kurt Sheets, but Kurt Sheets is now returning to the racing surface, and we'll have to keep an eye on that, folks, because he's right behind the 03 when we restart here. Those two got together, then they got together under caution. Green flag is back out up front right now, and it's big trouble right there. Zach Orr to the bottom trying to get into the 22, and Wesley Thompson hangs on. Now the battle's for third. Here comes Justin Taylor to the inside of Braden Mills. Contact. Mills almost loses it to the throttle. Sideways goes Braden Mills. Now the battle's on for your lead. Here comes Wesley Thompson. The number 22 is your leader, Zach Orr, very aggressive driver to his backside.
Action all over this racing facility. Zach Orr is going to do all he can to get to the 22 of Thompson, the leader, and he's going to look to the inside.
Thompson left the door open right there, and guess who's coming in? That is Zach Orr to the lead.
Can Zach Orr pedal away right here? He gets a little bit sideways coming off of that corner, but he looks to keep it under control. That 55. Looking in that third place position, you'll find the number 12 of Justin Taylor watching this battle ensue. Where can he fit in to this lead?
And you look no further behind Justin Taylor, and the young popular race car driver now right to the bottom is Amber Lynn. Amber Lynn making her presence felt, trying for the third position underneath Justin Taylor. Here comes Amber Lynn in the McDowell Heating and Air Conditioning number 2 car off of turn number 4. Give her P3.
Battle for third, battle for the lead, battle for fifth now. It's
battles
all over.
everywhere. This isn't a haymaker of a race. This is a barn burner of a race in the Sportsman division. One of the best races so far of the year. But now Wesley Thompson applying the pressure to the back of the number 55 of Zach Orr. Wesley Thompson, a graduate, a former champion of the mini stock ranks here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And now he's going for win number 2 of the season in the Sportsman Series.
Zach Orr doing all he can here to get away from Thompson, but it looks like they have a magnet attached to them as he can disconnect himself from the 22 as they're going to hit the halfway this time by.
Halfway in this race, but here comes Amber Lynn creeping into the picture. Wesley Thompson to the bottom. Does he have the real estate? No, he doesn't. Slamming the door is Zach Orr, but there comes the bumper.
Oh, it's going to get him a little bit sideways here. Amber Lynn's going to be able to capitalize and close the gap on the second place.
Remember, first place and third place have quite the rivalry so far this season. We've seen them get into each other. We've seen the war of words on social media. So, hey, if Wesley Thompson gets out of the way here, that could be a little bit of a plot twist, too.
Oh, and then 22 of Wesley Thompson is going to hit that outside wall and get damage on the right side of that 22.
Yeah, the right front of that car made some considerable contact. We'll keep an eye on that 22 and see how that affects that Smex machine. You're looking right now at the battle. Justin Taylor is going backwards, and he's going backwards fast. The number 92 of Kyle Southern takes that spot, and here comes Clifton, Zach Clifton to his bottom. Dylan Ward in the 08 as well.
Justin Taylor continuing to anchor himself back. He's going to fall back. Nowhere to go. He can't get to that inside lane.
Oh, Amber Lynn right rears the 22 of Wesley Thompson. He goes around. Heavy contact into turn number 1.
And the fans go crazy over Amber Lynn.
Oh, we're going to have to keep an eye on him. That can't be a very happy driver in that number 22 machine. A normally reserved Wesley Thompson is not happy. Here he comes down the front stretch. Amber Lynn got into him, and now they're nose to nose. He gets into the right front tire of Amber Lynn. Not happy. Wesley Thompson was turned right there on the front straightaway, and now he's making his displeasure very known.
Yeah, we're going to see on this Flow Racing replay, was it clean or was it dirty? Let's see.
Oh, she probably could have lifted there. I'd hate to say it there, but Wesley Thompson started it by getting loose, getting sideways. As he tried to drift back up the track, Amber Lynn was kind of there, but she definitely didn't do him any favors not lifting.
Now, we've talked about this before. Clear or not clear?
Not clear.
Clear is when you are to the driver's side door.
Or wheel to wheel at least.
Was she?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Not clear.
So if we go by those rules, not clear. I mean, me as a race car driver, I would have probably cracked the throttle a little bit there, especially Wesley Thompson, a very clean race car driver. We've seen it week after week. We've seen it from the mini stock days. We've seen it here in the sportsman division. One of the cleaner drivers in this field usually doesn't get into dust up, so that was why it was kind of unusual to see him have that caution flag incident. But Amber Lynn is very known for one thing here, not just winning races. She's one of the most successful females in Bowman Gray Stadium history, tied for the lead for the most wins with Susan Kimmel for the most wins at Bowman Gray Stadium here. But she's also known for aggression.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Known for aggression, and she's a tough driver. So we'll see here. We have 4 laps to go in this feature. 4 laps to go. Zach Orr continuing to lead the way. The number 55, Amber Lynn's going to start right behind him, followed by the 21 of Tommy Neal, and the 92 right behind Tommy Neal of Kyle Southern. And then we're going to see the 81 in 5th place. That's going to round out your top 5. Zach Clifton in that 81. We'll see how it goes.
So the plot thickens right here. You know, Phil Collins said he could feel it in the air tonight, and there's just something in the air tonight. And now another plot has started. Zach Orr, the number 2, no love lost between these two as we take the green flag with 4 laps to go. Zach Orr stretching out to that lead. Wonder if there's a little bit of damage maybe to that right front of Amber Lynn, but it doesn't look so as she charges the corner in turn number 3. She doesn't have much of a bumper there. Only a shroud to the front of her car. It looks like an open wheel machine. Yellow flag is out.
Yellow flag is going to be for the 03 spinning Sterling Plemons on the back straightaway. Looks like single car incident. No others involved. So we will re-rack them, restack them here again for another restart.
Oh, folks, hold on to your hats because we are setting ourselves up for a shootout. You see the front of that car. She has a bumper. Well, it's more of a bumper bar. That car is already starting to overheat. So these caution flags are not good for Amber Lynn. They're telling her to go to the pit area. That's not oil leaking. That's just water spraying. So I'm wondering if she's going to heed to this. I don't know if the black flag can come out for overheating like this because it's not really putting anything on the track. That's treacherous.
Looks like she... No?
I don't think
she might exit the track.
I don't think they could throw her to the rear or to the pit area for that.
She has that's pushing lots of water out.
Pushing water up in the air. Right now it's not creating a trail to the bottom of this racetrack. So this is an interesting call as Jeff Bunton now comes to the front stretch. She doesn't want to stop her car because it's overheating. I kind of don't understand why they're putting her in the to the pits here.
Rewinding just a little bit, we saw Wesley Thompson come back with revenge. He really didn't hit her that hard, but what he did could have affected the front nose of that number 2.
Yeah, could have right there. He made a lot of contact with that right front. I was wondering if it knocked the toe out at all, but even right now, stopping these cars to talk to her, this could prove to the demise of that number 2 car. Because if you're over here, they're throwing her to the pit area right now as you see the geyser cooking from that car. And, hey, she needs to go in because you saw when she hit the throttle there, that engine is heated up, and it's heated up bad.
I'm looking at the grandstands because I could hear the crowd cheering or booing over the decision just now by race controls. We'll get the cars refired up and rolling on the surface. But, man, what a split decision. Even you and I just now.
So you think they should have put her to the pits?
I think that and I cannot see from here, depending on how much fluid was coming out, could be potentially a lot of fluid.
But it's coming out airborne and evaporating.
Well, I mean, ultimately it's on her windshield.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, that's a safety hazard. I mean, we saw.
Tommy Neal drove blind.
Could go either way.
With 3 laps to go, that's a tough call to make.
That's a tough call. I probably would have let it go with 3 laps to go here, but it's a tough call. I've seen it. I've seen several other tracks do that before.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right there. But very tough call there for Amber Lynn and that hard-working crew. But, one person that's happy is Wesley Thompson because he thought he was done wrong. Well, the justice system has prevailed, in its own way, maybe, for Wesley Thompson. The plot's thickened. It's Bowman Gray.
The plot has thickened. It sure has. And speaking of the plot has thickened, you'll see the number 21 of Tommy Neal now moved up into that second place, followed by Kyle Southern and Zach Clifton. And rounding out the top 5 will be that 08.
Dylan Ward.
Dylan Ward, he's back.
Well, you know, the 21, remember, lost his season-long point lead last week when he had to hop in a backup car, was running second, and then had to go behind the wall there, had an incident, and he's trying to get back into that point lead. The dominant Tommy Neal right now in that 21. He drove the first race pretty much blind with the hood up on that 21 car, and now he's in a position to possibly get a win.
And we just saw the number 7 of Connor Branch. He's going to get some assistance exiting the track.
That's tough for that number 7, coming off a second-place finish in the first 20-lapper tonight. A best career finish for that young race car driver in the number 7. 1 to go, says Chief Starter Randy Smith. Next time around, the loud pedal will be pressed. We will have 3 laps to go. The modern Chevrolet Blazer Pace vehicle leading Zach Orr, Tommy Neal, 3rd place Kyle Southern, 4th place Zach Clifton, and Dylan Ward in 5th position. Pace car has pulled off. Zach Orr leading this field around at a snail's pace into the north turn. This is an interesting cat and mouse game from that young, aggressive race car driver with the master on his bumper. Fired off right now comes Zach Orr, trying to get to the bottom is the Tiger Tommy Neal. Zach Orr closes the door. This is a train of speed coming to 2 to go.
Zach Orr continuing to lead the way over Tommy Neal, and Kyle Southern, the 92, gets a little bit sideways in that last corner, but Zach Orr is going to settle in to his rhythm and continue to lead over 21.
Zach Orr in the lead. Tommy Neal trying to get to the backside of that number 55 car as the white flag flies. The 55 charges hard into turn 1, out of turn number 2. Tommy Neal, his last-ditch effort right here in turn number 3 is not going to work. For the second time this season, Zach Orr is a Sportsman winner.
Wow, what a race. What a race.
Tommy Neal comes to the bottom to congratulate the young, aggressive racer, Zach Orr. Yellow flag is a lot of yellow flags in that event, but I'll tell you what, the guy that survived them all and survived all the carnage tonight in the second main event for the Sportsman division is that Scarlett's Performance number 55 machine of Zach Orr. The Winston-Salem driver now takes the Winston-Salem's Bowman Gray Stadium checkered flag for a quick victory lap before he heads to victory lane. Eric Messer, track photographer, snapping some cool photos of him as Orr circulates the quarter mile here. And Carolina Wood Floors victory lane getting set up for the driver of the number 55.
What a win by Zach Orr, despite all the pressure that he had in that feature event. Orr gets his 10th career win, which moves him to 34th all-time win list. Wow, what an accomplishment.
That's a big accomplishment right there for Zach Orr, a very colorful and very passionate race car driver, and we've seen that passion overflow in other ways this year, and of course, you're going to see it overflow with joy here on Flow Racing in Victory Lane.
Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Picking up his second win of the 2022 campaign is Zach Orr. Zach, I'm pretty sure you didn't want to see that caution with 3 laps remaining, because at that point you had a tiger on your tail.
Yeah, my spotter kept telling me it was 4 or 5 cars ahead, and then all of a sudden the caution come out. I was like, oh, here we go. And then we got to go in. We took off good. Then the caution come out again. I said, here's Tommy. He'll run me clean. I've run him clean. We got good respect for each other. I appreciate the way he run me.
How about thanking your sponsors?
Yeah, I want to thank Pat's Body Shop, one of AutoZone T, Jerry Johnson Motors, Amanda Tucker. Everybody has helped me. I appreciate everything everybody's done for me.
Once again, Zach Orr, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of your second 20-lap event for the McDowell Heating and Air Sportsman Series. He will make his way over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle. Open your doors to beautiful wood floors with Carolina Wood Floors. And Tim McGuire, I think you have a starting lineup for our Q104.1 15-lap stadium stock race.
Let's meet and greet the starting lineup for the 15-lapper tonight for the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series. Starting 19th and shotgun on the field from King, number 14. It's veteran Ken Bridges. Starting 18th from Moxville, number 7, Chris Allison. Starting 17th, points leader, multi-time champion this series from Moxville, number 24, A.J. Sanders.
All right, 55 of Zach Orr, the winner in tonight's Sportsman Feature event, second feature. And we are going to take a quick break before our next Stadium Stock race.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is a city with a rich history of reinventing itself. Here you can wine and dine back in time, or raise a glass to the future. Witness history in the making, or savor the present moment. That's why you'll love visiting Winston-Salem. Our past is present, our future is bright, and our city is yours to explore. Look forward. Travel back to Winston-Salem.
Welcome back to Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing. Let's get you set up for the final feature of the event of the night, a 15-lap affair for the Wild and Woolly Q104.1 Stadium Stock Division. Starting in last from King, North Carolina, the number 14 of Ken Bridges. In 18th, Chris Allison in the number 7 machine. To the inside, all the way back in 17th for your point leader, A.J. Sanders in the 24.
Starting the 16th position, you'll find the 25 of Matt Goodwin. To the inside, in 15th, starting in 15th, the number 31 of Kyler Staley.
14th for the number 48 from Lexington, it's Junior Smith. To the inside, the 27, one of the Cates boys, Austin Cates.
Starting the 12th position, you'll find the number 69 of Brandon Krotz. And to the inside, the 74 of Matt Alley.
Starting 10th tonight, Cody Gum in the 03 machine. And to the inside, the other Cates boy, the number 51, it's Andrew Cates.
Starting the 8th position from Moxville, North Carolina, number 12 of Levi Holt. And to the inside, the number 17 of Andy Southern.
Starting 6th, Steven Sanders. To the inside, the 43. Last time he was a winner, Brandon Brendel. Starting 4th, Justin Owens. 3rd, Victor Flores in the black Pinto. And starting on the outside of the front row, the second-generation driver, Blaine Curry. And on the pole tonight, looking for his first win of the season, the number 46 of Wyatt Sapp. 15 laps on the card for the Stadium Stock Division, and we're green, the Buzz Bombers. Oh, the Pinto goes round and round.
Victor Flores, quite the 360 by that 05.
And he's not going to be able to refire that machine, so we're going to see the yellow flag thrown right now, and this field settles down as Victor Flores pulls away. Ah, you hate to see a Pinto spin.
though.
I mean, I think I can speak for all of motorsports here to just agree. You don't have favorites, but everybody pulls for a Pinto. Here comes the Pinto, and yes, he's around. Brennan Brendel might have helped him a little bit there. The number 43, the winner last time we were here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Little Pinto assistance.
Yeah, I could have got a little stacked up there before the caution, though. The 46 had quite the start. Wyatt Sapp. Probably sad to see that caution flag come out here.
Wyatt Sapp has been having a quiet, good season here in the stadium stock division. And, he slipped a little bit in points. He was top 5 in points and slipped a little bit the last week or so. But good to see that 46 with a really good pill draw to start at the front of this field. That driver deserves it because he's been driving a very heady season, heads-up season, very clean race season for much of this 2022. Plus, I love the Mustang body. I think it's cool, man.
It really does, and I love the color blocking with the blue and white. We're going to see 1 to go this time by. The Sanders Speed Shop out front, followed by the 16 of Blaine Curry, the 54 of Justin Owens. In fourth, you'll find the 43 of Brandon Brendel, and the 08 of Steven Sanders going to round out your top 5.
Single file here for the restart here, the 15 lapper for the stadium stocks. The green flag is out, and Wyatt Sapp charges his way to the lead. Blaine Curry to his bumper. Blaine Curry, already a winner this year, comes to the inside of the number 46. He's got the position going into the north turn. Blaine Curry, move him up to the lead, coming to the front stretch on lap number 2.
He's going to waste no time getting by Wyatt Sapp. What a run by the 16 in clean fashion at that.
But don't look now. The car that's just out of the picture right behind them, and there you see him, the number 43, Brendan Brendel. Matt Goodwin is going around for a spin in turn number 2, and he decides to go for his second spin.
You get in that grass and things go a little sideways. The 25, they're sitting in the middle of this football field stadium.
Yeah, the 25 car of Matt Goodwin, the Southern Vinyl machine. His wife owns that company, Southern Vinyl, and does the vinyl work on that car. And there goes a cone. Spit out a cone. His wife's heavily involved. Oh, it did. Good job, Cone. That was incredible.
It really was.
It was. But Matt Goodwin right there has a cool, Winnebago-style camper with an open trailer. And he and his wife come to the track together, and both of them hands-on working on these race cars. That's pretty cool to see a husband and wife doing that.
Yeah.
Cody Gum, you see that yellow car on your screen. Last week, he didn't even have a body panel left on that 03 machine. Had a tough week the last time we were here. Good to see that young man get that car repaired. And he does all the work on that car, himself. I mean, every time I see him, actually, I crawled under the car one time when I was here early just to talk to him because he was underneath the car working on it. So
I love that. We're going to get 1 to go. Green next time by here. We're going to set the pace with the 16 out front. Blaine Curry is going to lead the field to green.
Blaine Curry from Welcome, North Carolina, in that number 16 machine, the second-generation driver coming to the green. He knows he's got to get a good start here, plus he knows some fast cars are behind him. Blaine Curry gets to the loud pedal. Green flag is back out, and we have a Cates in the grass, and Matt Alley as well in the 74. We have a cone down as well. Trouble, Austin Cates. Austin Cates with the Tysinger's lawn care machine is doing a little lawn care of his own.
You see the tires just spinning
Sponsor
in the
plug.
grass.
Sponsor plug.
Is that your sponsor plug? I'm going to join the back of the field here. We only have 5 laps in the books, but 15 total.
There's
10 to go.
There's Brandon Krotz's car right there. You see the pink and blue and black
Yes.
and white car. Brandon Krotz has been having a good season as well in that number 69 car, and he has moved up to third in points. Yet to get a win this season is Brandon Krotz in that 69, but really putting together a great season here. A season that's been dominated so much by, well, the dominators. The car right to his back bumper, the number 24 of A.J. Sanders with 5 wins, and Brendan Lee Brendel with, I think, 3 wins for that number 43 car. So it's been tough to get a win if you're anybody else in the division, but the 69 of Krotz has been really having a strong, consistent season so far in the stadium stocks. You saw that 48 too, and I was interested. I wasn't here last time we ran, and the 48 of Junior Smith, he was the one that got into it with Cody Gum last week, and that boy was. I was a fan this week because I didn't get to watch Bowman Gray. I was doing something with my little boy. I brought him to South Boston, and so I got to be a fan, just like you viewers right now on Flow Racing, and rewatch it. You know, Eric Brennan was in the booth with Tim Pac-Man, and I got to be a fan and watch the entire broadcast, and, man, it was entertaining.
It's always fun to do that. You get to appreciate motorsports and see it from another perspective. It's good to do that. I try to do that several times throughout the year, different 10-pole events that I have on my bucket list to go.
Yeah.
So
it's fun to
that's
do.
Great.
You know?
It really is.
Like seeing Bowman Gray here, I've seen it from the grandstands so many times over the years. I've seen it from the cockpit of a race car. I've seen it as a photographer in the infield, and now I get to do it up in the booth, which is a huge blessing to be doing this on Flow Racing. Here we go. 5 laps, 10 laps to go for Blaine Curry as he tries to get to the gas, but because it looks like trouble for Blaine Curry, he couldn't go. Now he's spun into the infield grass.
Yeah, something's going on underneath the hood of that 16 with that restart. We're going to stay green here.
Yes, he gets going here, so Wyatt Sapp is now your leader. It looks like when he got to the gas, almost like he couldn't shift. Okay, here sometimes you actually do shift on the restart here in a mini stock, and it looked like he might have had trouble getting that car into gear. Here comes the 43.
Brandon Brindle. He's happy to see it. He's going to be on the back bumper of that 46 of Sapp.
Sapp has to watch out here for leaving a vulnerable entry into the corners. You see him drift up, and that's all Brendan Lee Brendel needs as he puts that Infinity Insurance Group 43 to the bottom and makes easy work of the number 46 to get the lead.
Nice job by Sapp, able to recover quickly from that pass. Right behind him, you'll see the battle for third. The number 8 in the 17. Back and forth, Steven Sanders getting a little bit sideways, battling out with Andy Southern.
Steven Sanders, very interesting that he's taken this red number 8 here to Bowman Gray. We typically see him in a blue car here. I've been told that this car is a lot faster, so interesting to see Steven Sanders strong in that third position right now. Andy Southern right now he's the meat in the Sanders sandwich, because here comes A.J. Sanders, the master of the mini stocks, the stadium stock giant here at Bowman Gray, now creeping past Southern.
A.J. Sanders, he had to come from deep in the field, starting in that 17th position. He's made his way up to that 4th place, and we are dealing with a little bit of lap traffic right there. Victor Flores in the Pinto.
Father and son, you see him on the screen right there. Steven Sanders knows to let the 24 by. The fastest stadium stock here so far this year has been A.J. Sanders the Great. Now he's in 3rd position. He needs a caution because Brendan Lee Brendel is in the lead and stretching it out here with only 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go as Brendan Lee Brendel, the 43, crosses the start-finish line.
Brandon Brindle is checked out currently. The 46 of Wyatt Sapp, 24 of A.J. Sanders right behind him. Going to need a caution, like you said, as the white flag flies.
1 more lap to go for the number 43 of Brendan Brendel as A.J. Sanders moves into the 2nd position. He's hoping the caution flag doesn't come out. 2 more turns to navigate for the white 43. Good guys wear white. And tonight, the white car, Brendan Brendel, is the winner.
A.J. Sanders going to take home 2nd, followed by Wyatt Sapp in 3rd. And it looks like the number 8 in 4th, 17 finishing in 5th.
23rd career win for the number 43 of Brendan Brendel and his 4th of the season. Look out, A.J. Sanders there might be a new guy atop the division pretty soon. This is the battle of two of the dominant forces in stadium stocks. And guess what? Brendan Brendel, knock, knock. I'm coming for you, AJ.
Ran a pretty clean race there, 43. So great work by him, able to stay out of all the drama that happened tonight.
That was very important, by the way. The last lap of that race, AJ Sanders crested into the second finishing position. This is double points night. Entering this night, the 43 was 22 points behind AJ Sanders. So now, double points, he won the race, but AJ Sanders luckily finished second, because that would have been a little bit of a turn there for the points battle.
And he absolutely had to work for it, coming from, again, 17th. He passed 15 cars to make it up to that second place position. So lots of work to do in just 15 laps. Brendel is going to tie with this win with Chuck Wall for 5th all-time with that 23 wins that you spoke about.
Very, very impressive for this race car driver who really works hard on his own stuff here, even though now he's not driving his own race car this year. He is driving for another team. This is not his actually home chassis, so pretty cool to see that Infinity Insurance Group, Lindley Plumbing Machine, pull into victory lane here, a place that he's very familiar with, and a very popular win here at Bowman Gray Stadium. You see the family, you see the crew right now. Let's go down trackside for the victory celebration.
Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Brendel picks up his 4th win of the 2022 campaign on double points night. Brandon, double points. Double points, your 4th win of the season. You had the points leader creeping up on you, but just not enough laps. How's it feel? Is it double points? You picked up a few points on AJ tonight.
That's a good thing. At this point, we're just trying to race for wins. Wasn't my cleanest race. It happened on restarts. I don't know what happened, but Blaine went around. We all checked up, and I hate that for Blaine. But I'd like to thank Lori and Kevin Neal with Lindley Plumbing, Todd Barnhart with Infinity Insurance, and Kendall Griffin with G Engineering Race Engines. Them some bad pieces.
Well, Brandon, you came into the evening about 22 points behind. You gained a few points, tightened it up a little bit with about 5 or 6 weeks left in the season. You're right in the heat of the points battle. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Brandon Brendel as he makes his way over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle.
The 1074th edition of Bowman Gray Stadium Racing, the 73rd season of NASCAR Stock Car Auto Racing in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has been completed on Flow Racing. As you see, Brendan Brendel climbing onto Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane. What a night! On July 9th, your winners in the street stocks were Billy Gregg, first sportsman race, 17-year-old Chase Robertson. Your winners for tonight, the street stocks, Billy Gregg taking the victory, the first sportsman race, Chase Robertson, the 17-year-old taking the checkered flag, and the modified 100 won by Walnut Cove, North Carolina's Burt Myers. Second sportsman event by Zach Orr, and the stadium stock feature by Brendan Brendel in that number 43. What a night of racing here for night 1074 of NASCAR action here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And Jacqueline Drake, what's your takeaway, your big takeaway from tonight?
You know, one of my big takeaways is one of the things that Bowman Gray continues to produce is the gap between the young talent and the veterans. We saw a mix of that tonight. We saw the young guys. We saw the veterans back up top. I love to see that here at the Madhouse. And things definitely got stirred up tonight on the pot with the points. We're going to see it all iron out the rest of the season. But the fact that we see rookies and veterans able to conquer this track each night simultaneously is one of the cool things about this facility.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I think that's my very similar to my takeaway. Yeah, Burt Myers getting that second win, but in that race we saw a plot and then a plot and then another plot. And then in the sportsman race, you saw a plot, you saw rivals, and you saw what's going to happen here. And that's a thing that is my big takeaway. When you come to this facility and you sit in those concrete grandstands amongst the 17,000 seats here at Bowman Gray Stadium, every single time you enter this facility, you never know what you're going to see, whether it be drama, whether it be a plot, whether it be some crashing, some great battles. And that was my takeaway tonight. It was a classic night here at Bowman Gray Stadium. We got to thank our Flow Racing crew tonight. Of course, Evan Wilson doing a fantastic job juggling it in the truck tonight. Bobby Rowland, of course, Seth Bowman, and our buddy Larry Mervin. I love Larry.
That's great. Great job by the team. I love the dedication and the passion on each one of the team members that comes out here and is a part of it. And I want to thank Mother Nature for parting the clouds.
Mother Nature.
With a 80-90% chance of rain this evening, we got the whole show in and not a single drop fell.
Oh, that was great right there. And, of course, thank everybody with NASCAR Roots, and everybody back in the NASCAR Tower. This, again, is Weekly Racing Series action presented by NASCAR Roots and NASCAR Weekly Racing Series here on Flow Racing every Saturday night at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Madhouse every week on Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner. Jacqueline, thank you for joining us tonight again. You're going to be in the booth a few times,
back,
right?
Yeah, we'll be back next week together.
Love it.
Love it.
Okay.
See you right here on
next
Flow.
week. See you here. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner, again. I hope you really enjoyed the 1074th edition of Racing at the Madhouse. And until next time, we'll see you at the races.